Hello, friends. Welcome. Leanne here with Sacred Wild Woman. Last week we talked about interpersonal relationships, and this is not an interpersonal relationship that I'm going to talk about. This is the opposite of what interpersonal relationships are. And this is an interesting topic because it has found its way back to our culture in the last decade. And I'm going to talk about gaslighting and how to identify the behavior. The first use of gaslight came from a play in 1938 called Gaslight by Patrick Hamilton, which became a movie in the 1940s. And it was about a story about a husband who attempted to drive his wife insane by doing things in their home and claiming that she was imagining things that was happening in the household. And the first record of gaslighting in psychology arrived in the scene in the 1960s. But by the 1990s, the term gaslighting or gaslight became more of a thing outside of the context of psychology. So what is gaslighting? It's a form of emotional abuse. It refers to manipulation and deception. And typically the person who's gaslighting causes you to question your sense of reality or perception. Gaslighting is a way of gaining control over someone in a relationship. And gaslighting often begins slowly. The person who is abusive gains the person's trust during this sweet spot in the early stages of the relationship, where there's no evidence of abusive behavior. And sometimes the behavior can be hidden for a really long time. But once the trust has been gained, eventually the abusive partner starts to say things that didn't happen, or you're being irrational, or they start to break you down. And other things that a gaslighter will say is, you're too sensitive, you have terrible memory, or you're crazy, and everyone else thinks that you're crazy too. Or you should have known that I would react that way. And these are the common things that people say when they're gaslighting. People are not naturally born gaslighters. They are students of social learning. They witness, feel the effects of it, and learn to use it as a powerful tool. And some gaslighters don't even know that they're doing anything intentional or manipulative. They lack self-awareness and tend to think that they're just being direct. So here are some ways to identify you're being gaslighted. 1, uses lies. You know the person is lying a lot and they don't see it in their behavior. You begin to doubt yourself and question everything. You lose this trust in yourself. And number 2, you know what was said and they deny everything. They ask you to prove it. And then you question your memory and questioning your reality, and you accept theirs. And number 3, words over action. Gaslighters will make you feel like they're concerned about you, but their actions don't match their words. And number 4, love bombing. A gaslighter will break you down and they will build you back up and then break you down again. This is what makes the person question their reality, because they're being praised and loved bombed, which convinces the victim that the abuser is not so bad after all. And number 5, projecting. This is where they project their actions onto the other person. For example, if you have someone who's cheating on you or lies, they will say that you're the one that's cheating and lying. You're the one that has been doing this, which leaves that person needing to defend themselves or for things they haven't even really done. The interesting part about gaslighting is that there are other places where this occurs other than intimate relationships. It can happen in child-parent relationships, medical gaslighting, racial gaslighting, political gaslighting, and institutional gaslighting. Something to be mindful of. It's important to distinguish gaslighting from an actual disagreement, which is common in relationships. Not every conflict involves gaslighting, and of course, there are healthy ways and helpful ways to settle conflict. Gaslighting is separate because only one of you is listening and seeing the other person's perspective, and someone is invalidating your perception, insisting that you're wrong, or telling you your emotional reactions are crazy. People of gaslighting who are victims are not being overly sensitive. Gaslighting is about personality differences, isn't about personality differences. It's about knocking someone off of their reality. If you have been gaslighted, make no mistake that it's a form of abuse. It doesn't mean that you can't be fixed or it can't be fixed. It means that you increase your emotional awareness and learn to identify what gaslighting is, and you learn to validate yourself. When your perception is challenged, it's the self-doubt that is so debilitating in gaslighting. My own experience, I had been gaslighted and felt like I was crazy. And the truth was that I wasn't crazy. It was that I was with a narcissist who was a gaslighter. It took me some time to really work on knowing the difference, and it was difficult for quite some time. And now I know the difference. So if you found this video helpful, please press the like button. If you want to add on to this topic, please feel free to add on. And it's always an honor to share information with all of you. And thank you for watching. Signing out, Sacred Wild Woman. Have a beautiful day.